Hey everyone, I am Candy. Welcome back for another deep dive.
And I am Adam. That's right. Today we're focusing on all you Fortnite Battle Royale players out there.
Absolutely. Huge fan base.
Yeah, huge.
Yeah. So many people love this game.
Definitely. And we've got something that we think is really going to help you guys step up your game.
Oh yeah.
And that's this brand new resource we found. It's a blog post called Fortnite Official Battle Royale Survival Guide.
Wow.
And it was posted today, March 16th, 2025 on GameTechno.online.
That's our site.
It is our site.
Awesome website.
Yeah, definitely. Go check it out. But today we're going to be going through this blog post and trying to pull out the best tips and tricks and insights for you guys so you can improve your game.
That's right.
Whether you're a brand new player just dropping onto the Fortnite island for the first time and feeling a little overwhelmed, or you're a seasoned pro, looking for those extra edges to get more consistent wins, this is the deep dive for you.
We're going to unpack everything. This official guide, what they think. Scissor the essentials for not just surviving, but thriving.
Yeah. So you're saying this is an official guide?
It is, yeah. It's part of the official Fortnite book series by Little Brown Books for young readers.
Oh, wow.
So that gives it,
So it's legit.
yeah, a little more weight, right? Like, we're getting information straight from the source, as it were.
Yeah, definitely. You would hope so, right?
Yeah, and it's designed for all ages and experience levels, which is, oh, that's cool. Great for the learner, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And for context, the hardcover book is $12.99.
Okay.
Okay, so we're really giving you guys some good value here, getting this information for free.
Yeah. Before you even buy the book.
Exactly.
Like you can see if it's for you.
Exactly. And the blog post itself highlights some key takeaways. Mastering basics, exclusive tips, sneaky tactics, expert advice.
I like those sneaky tactics.
Yay. Gotta love those. And taking your game to the next level.
So where do we even start?
Well, they start with something pretty fundamental. Getting started, which is setting up your controls. Your movement, your shooting, your building, all within the game settings.
Yeah, I guess that's...
It might seem obvious, super important. It is, but it's also something that's very easily overlooked.
Yeah, especially if you're a newer player, you might just jump in and not really think about it. And then later on, you're like, totally. Man, I wish I would set this up better.
Exactly. And the guide really emphasizes taking the time to find what works best for you.
Got it.
And not just the controls, like also your graphics, your sound, your controller settings, whatever you're using, getting everything optimized for the best experience possible. That way you're not fighting against a game,
Yeah, you're not getting like frame drops in the middle of a fight.
Exactly.
Or you can't hear footsteps.
Right. And it makes a big difference,
Huge.
Having a smooth start is crucial.
Absolutely. Okay, so we've got our settings all dialed in. We're ready to play.
Yes.
Now what? What's the next step?
Well, the next thing the guy talks about is landing strategy.
Oh, the initial drop.
The initial drop, yeah.
Okay.
And it's interesting how much emphasis they put on this.
Really?
Yeah. They really stress how this is a make or break moment in every match.
Yeah. I am interested to hear why. Why do they think it's...
Well, they talk about this idea of understanding the map,
Okay.
And they talk about knowing where the good loot locations are. And they say success in Fortnite isn't just about reflexes. It's about having that strategic knowledge of the environment.
Oh, that makes sense. You're not just dropping in randomly. You're dropping in with a plan.
Exactly, with a plan. And they even give you some specific tips for landing.
Okay. I like it.
Like landing near towns or cities to maximize your chances of finding loot early.
Okay. So go where the action is.
Yeah, go where the action is, but, be aware that there's going to be other people there too.
Right. So it's risky.
Risky, yeah. So if you're not feeling confident, maybe try landing in a less crowded area.
Okay. So play it safe at first.
Exactly. And another great tip they give is to utilize the high ground as you're gliding down.
Okay. I like that one.
Yeah, it gives you better visibility so you can scope out potential loot.
Spawns and see where the enemies are landing.
Exactly. And you can kind of plan your next move accordingly.
Awesome. Okay. So we've landed. We're safe. We're scoping out the area.
We got lucky.
What do we do next?
Well, then it's time to talk weapons.
Okay.
Essential weapons and loadout.
Okay. So what are we looking for?
So the guide really emphasizes that the weapons you choose are absolutely crucial for your survival and your victory, right?
Makes sense.
And one of the key things they talk about is understanding weapon tiers.
Okay, so what does that even mean, weapon tiers?
Basically, it means knowing the difference between like a gray burst rifle and a gold scar.
Okay, so like the rarity of the weapons.
Exactly, exactly. And each tier has different stats, damage, accuracy, all that stuff.
Right, so a higher tier weapon is going to be more powerful.
Exactly. So it's important to prioritize those higher tier weapons when you find them.
But I mean, if you're in a pinch, you've got nothing else.
Absolutely. Anything is better than nothing. But yeah, always be on the lookout for those upgrades.
So they're probably saying that we should choose weapons that fit our play style.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, they really emphasize that. If you're a long-range player, maybe prioritize a sniper rifle or an assault rifle.
Right, and if you're more of a run and gun type,
Yeah, shotguns, SMGs, things like that.
definitely. And also ammo management is probably huge, right?
Oh, yeah, they talk about that too.
Don't want to run out.
You don't want to be caught in a firefight with an empty clip.
Definitely not.
So, yeah, always keep an eye on your ammo count and make sure you're picking up ammo as you go.
Okay, cool. So we've got our weapons. We're feeling good.
Now what we got to talk about building.
Oh yeah, building. That's like the big thing that makes Fortnite different from other games.
It is, yeah. And the guide stresses that it's a key skill
Okay.
for anyone who wants to be good at Fortnite.
Okay. So it's not just about like hiding behind walls.
No, it's so much more than that.
Okay.
They talk about using building to create defensive structures, to build tunnels for safe movement, even to set up traps for your enemies.
Oh wow, it's like its own little game within the game.
It is, yeah. It's super versatile.
Yeah.
And they give some really specific building advice too.
Like what?
Well, first off, they talk about using the right materials for different situations.
Okay.
So like wood is good for quick early game defenses, but as the game progresses, you want to transition to brick and metal for stronger protection.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah. So you're not going to build a huge metal fort at the beginning of the game.
Right. It's going to take too long.
Yeah.
They also talk about building strategically, considering the terrain around you, thinking about potential enemy positions.
Right. Using the high ground to your advantage.
Exactly. And then a really cool tip they give is to spend some time in Fortnite creative mode.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Just to practice your building skills without the pressure of dying being in a real match.
Right.
So you can really get those mechanics down.
Perfect. Okay.
And then they talk about piece control.
Piece control. I've never heard that term.
Yeah, it's a little more advanced, but it's basically the idea of like strategically placing your builds to like limit enemy movement.
Okay.
And create openings for yourself. So like, you're not just building walls randomly, you're building with a purpose.
Got it. Okay, cool. So we've got the basics down. Now what? Where do we go from here?
So now the blog post draws on information from the official Fortnite books series, specifically the Battle Royale Survival Guide, which came out in 2019.
So it's a little older.
And it is a little older.
Yeah, but they're saying it's still relevant.
Well, they do mention that it has a holographic seal for authenticity.
Okay.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So it seems like they think these are like timeless principles, that still apply today.
Okay, I like it.
And they focus on 3 core strategies: resource management, positioning tactics, and storm circle navigation.
Okay, so break those down for me.
Sure. So resource management is pretty straightforward. It's about gathering and utilizing resources efficiently.
So like wood, brick, metal.
Exactly. Don't waste your time farming materials you don't need.
Right. Prioritize what you need for the situation.
Yeah. And make sure you're using them wisely.
Okay. And what about positioning tactics?
So positioning tactics is all about finding the best spots on the map to give yourself an advantage.
Okay, so that ties back into the landing strategy you were talking about earlier.
It does, yeah. It's all connected.
Yeah. Right. So thinking about the high ground, thinking about COVID. Exactly.
And also thinking about where the storm circle is going to be.
Right. Because you don't want to get caught out in the storm.
Absolutely not.
Okay. And then storm circle navigation.
So this is a big one.
Go away.
This is about understanding how the safe zone shrinks throughout the match and planning your movements accordingly so you don't get
caught out in the storm.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's like the ultimate survival tip.
It is, yeah. And the guide really emphasizes that mastering these 3 core strategies will make a huge difference in your overall gameplay.
Okay, I believe it.
Yeah, it's all about thinking strategically, not just reacting to what's happening in the moment.
Okay, cool. So What about for those players who are already pretty good at the game and they've got the basics down? They're starting to understand the strategies.
Yeah, they're ready to take it to the next level.
What's next?
Well, the guide has a section on advanced combat techniques.
Oh, okay. I like it.
Yeah, this is where things get really interesting.
Okay.
And one of the key things they emphasize here is staying up to date with the game changes.
Right. Because Fortnite's always changing.
Oh yeah, constantly. New weapons, new items, new mechanics, all the time.
Definitely.
So you gotta be adaptable.
Right. So you can't just learn one strategy and stick with it forever.
Exactly. You gotta be willing to learn and adjust.
Okay, so what are some of these advanced combat techniques?
Well, they talk about things like flanking and positioning, using cover and concealment effectively.
But not just running out in the open,
No. You got to be smart about it.
right?
Think about your angles. Think about your surroundings.
Use the environment to your advantage.
Exactly. And they also talk about mastering building and editing for defense, but also for offense.
Oh, interesting. So you're not just building to protect yourself, you're building to create opportunities to attack.
Exactly. Yeah. It's all about being creative and using your builds to outsmart your opponents.
Okay, cool. So we've got the combat down. What else is there?
Well, then they move on to map awareness and rotation strategies.
Okay. So this is like thinking about the big picture.
It is. Yeah. It's about understanding the entire battlefield and planning your movements accordingly.
Okay. So not just focusing on the immediate fight.
Right. You got to be thinking about where you're going next,
The circle is going to be exactly.
where the circle is going to be, where the other players are likely to be rotating.
Right. So you don't get caught off guard.
Exactly.
Okay. And they give some specific tips for improving map awareness.
They do? Yeah. They say to study the map layout,
Okay.
try to predict the trajectory of future safe zones
Right.
and learn how to use vehicles effectively.
Vehicles. Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah. Whether it's a car or a boat or even just a shopping cart.
A shopping cart. Yeah. Those are surprisingly useful.
They are.
Okay. So we're thinking about the map. We're thinking about our rotations. What else do we need to know?
Well, if you're playing in a squad, there's a whole other layer of complexity.
Oh, yeah. Teamwork.
Teamwork, communication, coordination, all good stuff.
Okay. So what does the guide say about team play?
Well, they really emphasize the importance of communication.
Okay. Communication is key.
Absolutely. Yeah, you got to be able to talk to your teammates and let them know what's going on.
Right. So that's like calling out enemy positions.
Exactly. Calling out enemy positions, calling out loot, calling out if you need help.
Definitely. So you're not all just running around like chickens with your heads cut off.
Right. You got to be a cohesive unit.
Okay. So how do we improve our team communication?
Well, the guide talks about setting up a call out system.
A call out system. What's that?
Basically, it's like a set of pre-agreed upon terms and locations
Okay.
so that everyone on the team is on the same page.
Okay. So like instead of saying enemy over there by that big tree,
Right.
he would say enemy at northwest tree.
Exactly. Yeah, something like that.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, it just makes communication much more clear and concise.
Definitely.
And then they also talk about developing squad formation strategies.
Okay. So that's like how you move around the map as a team.
Exactly. Yeah, it's about understanding each team member's strengths and weaknesses and assigning roles accordingly.
So like who's the builder, who's the sniper, who's the rusher?
Exactly. Yeah. And having a balanced team with clearly defined roles can make a huge difference.
Right. So you're not all trying to do the same thing.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. So we're communicating, we're coordinating, we're dominating. Now we're in the final circle,
The end game.
the end game. The stakes are high.
Pressure is on.
What do we do?
Well, this is where everything we've talked about comes together.
Okay.
All the skills, all the strategies, all the teamwork.
So it's like the ultimate test.
It is. Yeah. And the guide emphasizes the importance of securing the best possible position.
Okay, so high ground cover.
Exactly. You want to be in a spot where you can see everything and you're not easily exposed.
Right. And you want to be thinking about the storm.
Oh, yeah. The storm is a huge factor in the end game.
Yeah, you can use it to your advantage.
Absolutely.
Right? Like trapping people in it or using it as cover.
Exactly.
Okay, so we're positioned. We're ready for the final showdown. What's the last piece of advice?
Don't panic.
Don't panic. Okay, yeah.
Stay calm, stay focused, and trust in your skills and your teammates.
Okay, I like it. I like it.
And remember everything we've talked about, right?
Resource management, positioning, communication.
Exactly.
It all comes down to this.
It does.
Awesome. So that was a deep dive into the Fortnite official Battle Royale survival guide on GameTechno.online. On GameTechno.online, definitely. Go check that out and
So much good stuff there.
tons more.
Even if you're not a Fortnite fan, there's so much other gaming content on there.
Absolutely.
Reviews, news guides.
You name it, we got it.
So go check it out, definitely.
So, Candy, after all this information, all these strategies, what would you say is like the one thing that people should really focus on?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing is map awareness.
Go. Okay.
If you can really understand the map and predict where the circle's going and where the other players are going to,
Be rotating, you're going to have a huge advantage.
it's a huge advantage.
Yeah, because you can avoid those fights.
Exactly.
You can get to the good loot.
You can position yourself perfectly for the end game.
Exactly. So map awareness is key.
Map awareness is key.
Awesome. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in to another deep dive.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Go out there and get those victory.
Royale and those victory royale. And check.
Out GameTechno.online for more great content. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.